If I hear one more person say that there's long gears in the Porsche GT cars, I'm going to scream. Ever since the 2016 GT4 came out, all over Renlist and at Cars and Coffee all around, people say that the gearing in these Porsche GT cars are too long and that you pretty much hang out in second or third gear the entire time you drive it. I'm here to tell you that's completely false, and this is an issue you don't have to worry about at all. So welcome to Das Cayman Garage or apartment, and let's go dive into this controversial topic. So I truly believe that the Porsche long gearing is a myth, and it's something that sparked up in some journalists' reviews back in 2016 when the GT4 came out and maybe the Spider, and everyone says that the gearing is too long. Could the gears be shorter? Sure, I'd also love a Carrera GT, but this is not a reason at all to not buy these cars, and let me show you why. So in front of you, you're gonna see a graph here which graphs the 911 ST, the 718 GT4, the 981 GT4, the 987.2 Boxster Spider, a 997 Cup car, and a 718 GT4 RS, okay? So what this graph shows is the maximum speed that you will reach in each gear. So as you move along to the right on the X-axis, that's each gear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the Y-axis is the miles per hour at which you will reach in each gear. So the new 911 ST just just came out. Everyone says, wow, the gears are so great. The gearing's cured. It's amazing, blah, blah. And I wanted to compare it to my Boxster Spider because I saw a comment on Renlist that said, hey, Das Cayman, when are you gonna go put new shorter gears in your Boxster Spider? And I'm like, what are you talking about? The gearing is fine. Not once have I driven my car and said, wow, this could really use some shorter gears. Fuck. God, this thing revs so nice. It's the last thing I've ever thought about. Additionally, I've driven the 981 GT4, the 718 GT4, both flat out on back roads, please drive responsibly. And not once while I'm driving these cars do I say, wow, the gears in this car are so long. If only Porsche made these gears shorter, I'd be having way more fun. I was so focused on how amazing the car was driving, the power, the steering, the handling, the brakes, the full package, the coupe, the chassis, etc. Not once I think about the gearing. I was using first, second, third, fourth, and just getting into fifth in the 718 and 981 GT4. And I never thought once that this was even an issue. And so I'm reading these forums and I'm like, why is everyone whining about these long gears? So I went ahead and I pretty much dumpster dove on the Porsche website for all its technical information. I pretty much found all the gear ratios on the ST, each generation GT4, the Spider, and even a Cup car and a 718 GT4 RS. And I wanted to see what the actual miles per hour were in each gear because I have experience with each of these cars, and I just wanted to make sure that hey, maybe the top of third is 120 miles an hour or 30 and or 4, I don't know, and it's just crazy. So you can see here, the 911 ST just came out, and it's being heralded as probably the most perfect, Porsche sports car out there. Porsche doesn't really want you driving these cars on the track. Don't soundbite that, but it's designed for the street, okay? So first gear, you pretty much max out at around 47, and then second gear is 74, third gear is 103, fourth is 132, fifth is 164. Okay, so anything over 120, it's kind of gonna be irrelevant for back roads. You guys need to understand that these are sports cars. And not just daily commuters. So Porsche designed these cars to have fun with, to use. They can go on racetracks, but they're not race cars. So, that's why I put a 997 Cup car on here. I wanted to show you what an actual factory intended short gearing would look like. So if you can see on here in the red bar graph, your Cup car goes to 53 in first gear, 78 in second, 97 in third, 119 in fourth, and then 147 in fifth. So you're not really gonna see crazy top speeds in these Cup cars on a lot of these tracks. I understand that you can regear all these cars the way you want it per the the track, but as the Cup car comes from the factory, these are the gears that you receive. So anyways, I found that my Spider was great. I've had no issue going through first, second, third, fourth, maybe touch fifth on some back roads, especially like the canyons in California. Like those are some long sweeping roads out there. Like you should have quote unquote no problem like just touching into fifth, getting to the top of fourth. So let's look at the probably the most complained about car, the 718 GT4 compared to the 911 ST. So in third gear, it tops out at around 117 miles an hour. 911 ST does 103. 981 does 114. My little Spider does 107, and a 718 GT4S has 101. So is 117, 17 miles per hour greater than 101? Yes. However, you need to understand that these cars are fast, and if this was just an NA Miata from 1991 with 100 horsepower, you would never be able to reach these speeds. You have to work so hard to get to these speeds, but these cars are so capable that you will reach these speeds no problem. As you can see, from the 981 to the 718, the gears got a little longer, let's say, or each mile per hour is higher in each gear because the car is more capable as you move up, in year and in age. So the 718 GT4 is more than capable of going 117 miles per hour at the top of third. Going 117 is not hard to do on a back road. Again, please drive responsibly. These cars should be really driven like that on a track, but this is gonna get into some weird, ethics thing where how should you be driving a car, et cetera. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, you can use these cars. So this might funnel back to an issue that you bought a car that's too fast for the road. Not so much that the gearing is too long, which is why I also advocate everyone out there to just buy a slower car. I have a 987.2 Boxster Spider. It has 2,100 pounds, maybe 350 horsepower, and it is fast. It is extremely fast. I have videos on my channel here of someone driving that car, not me, and it is a fast car. There's no point where I say, if only I was going faster, I'd be having more fun. And I pretty much hit, fourth gear in my Spider, on 2, 3, 4 my Spider all day long on these back roads, and I never once think about the gearing. I once flogged a 718 GT4 on back roads in the middle of nowhere, and I had the time of my life. It was an amazing car. It was a little too quiet for me, but it did everything perfectly. And I went through all the gears, and I didn't have one complaint about the short gearing issue. So yeah, the same thing with the 981 GT4. I'll roll some pictures right now of what that's looked like, and absolute peach cars to drive. It's just that the newer the cars get, the faster they can go. They're just more capable. The tire technology, the suspension, the development from Porsche factory itself, it just lends to a car that's can drive faster. If you drove these cars on the Nürburgring, you would never once complain about how the gears are too long. You would say, oh wow, I'm hitting fifth gear, in my 718 GT4 on the ring, I'm going 146 miles an hour. Yeah, you're gonna hit that on the Nürburgring all day. And the Nürburgring is probably the best example of what a back road looks like versus a circuit, circuit of the Americas. Okay, so if front circuit of the Americas, it's a huge track, but again, these cars are so capable on the street. They're really too fast for the road. It's why, again, I don't advocate buying a high horsepower Porsche for the back roads. A slow car fast rather than a fast car slow. I guess one could argue that if Porsche shortened the gears in collection, down, but you'd be shifting all the time. It would be like some rally cup car thing, and you'd be maxing out at 120. So maybe Porsche should be offering a street only package where the gears are only tailored towards the street. Maybe that's the solution, and then you'll just never go over 120 on a racetrack ever if you just commit to yourself, I'm only gonna drive on the road and that's it. But yeah, again, the 911 ST, what I love about this graph is, check this out. 911 ST and my Boxster Spider have near identical top speeds in each gear. So third gear, I'm at 107 the Spider, and the ST is at 103. It's a 4 mile per hour difference. Like that is so non-noticeable. Like when you're going those speeds, the last thing you're thinking about, oh, like he went 101 and I only went 104. Like it's not a thing. So, and as you're going into fourth, the Spider goes 134, the ST goes 132. In fifth, the Spider goes 159, the ST goes 164. Like I've never gone 159, the top of fifth in my Spider. That's crazy. You have to be somewhere on like an airstrip or some shit, or don't tell me where you are. Yeah, I mean, the 97.2 Boxster Spider, like I rave about that car all the time because it's the perfect backroad car. Like the gearing's not too long, there's not too much power, you can use the whole chassis, you can use the suspension, blah, blah, blah. Like you can use all of that car. I've kind of tricked mine out a little bit more because I wanted mine to be a little bit more like RS-y rather than appealing to the masses. So like someone who used to drive the car in the city, I'm only driving my Boxster Spider from point A to point A, back road, back to my house, and that's it. So I think the car is perfect. As for the 718 GT4, 981 GT4, 911 ST, all that stuff, like, yeah, the gears are a tiny bit longer, but you don't think about that. When you actually use the car the way Porsche intended, you're not thinking about how the gears are too long. You're out there like, oh my God, like the horizon is being sucked to me at this crazy rate. Got to make sure I'm not going to hit anything, and that my apexes are great, and that you're being safe and you're just enjoying the car. So what are some solutions for people out there who think that their car's gearing is too long? So I know that Sharkworks makes a crazy kit. I've got the website pulled up right here. It's $4,450 for the gears for 3, 4, and 5, or $7,500 for the main shaft, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then $5,000 to install. So that could be between $10,000, $10,000 to $13,000 to install these gears. Like that's absolutely crazy. In the meantime, what I recommend you do is put a lightweight flywheel on your car. Porsche is now kind of like starting to market these lightweight flywheels in the ST. I put one in my Spider. I could not be happier with it. I got one from AASCO, so ASCO, whoever. I'll link it in the description below. I'm not sponsored by them at all. But your car will just rev faster, especially in the lower gears. So if you're worried about, you wanting to use 1, 2, 3, maybe a little bit of 4, and it's too long of a gear, like putting that lightweight flywheel on is going to help you rev that engine up faster. There's just less rotational mass that your engine has to, labor to get you to those speeds. Alternatively, you can just get a slower car. Go downgrade to a 987.2 Cayman R, Boxster Spider, Cayman S, base, whatever, and just drive that. I mean, like you will be able to use all of that car all of the time on these back roads. If your chief complaint is, hey, like I bought this GT4 and I can't use it on the back roads, like because the gears are too long and I have to drive it too fast. Like, well, that's what Porsche made. Like they made this car to go really fucking fast. So, it's a victim of its own success. I have a lot of friends out there with GT3s. I've had a lot of experience with the 718 GT4 RS, and you can see on this graph here how relatively short those gears are. So it's in purple, and those gears are pretty much kind of near the 997 Cup car. Like those are really short gears. And I remember driving that car on the back roads, and I said, get this car away from me. Allegedly doing 150 everywhere. It was just bing, 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 bing. Like it was just like new gear, new gear, new gear, new gear. And you would blank and you're like, why am I going 150 allegedly, like in these areas? This is absolutely insane. Like no one's winning from this. There's no prizes, there's no trophies. Like this is crazy. That car is designed, in my opinion, for living next to the Nürburgring, and like that's it. I know my friend might watch this with the GT4S. Love you, all that stuff. But these cars are too fast for the back roads. Like you have to be near like a circuit to use these to their full potential. So there's a reason why there's a saying called Miata is always the answer, because you can wring the snot out of a Miata. Spike Ferriston, Spice Car Radio, etc. He just had a BRZ on the show. And he was saying how fun it was to drive. He can just floored everywhere. It's got a 6-speed manual, 230 horsepower, 220 to be exact. I mean, that is an objectively slow car. It probably doesn't weigh anything. It weighs, let's see, 2024, 2,850 pounds, okay? So like that's a car you can use all the time, anywhere, thrash it and bash it, not worry about it, and you're not gonna be going insane speeds. Like you can go fast in any car can do 100. It's how confident, inspiring that car is and how safe you are as well to other people. So driving slow cars fast is more fun than driving a fast car slow. It's just a waste of a product. There's a reason why there are some dealers out there who only give out RS allocations to people who actually use the cars. Like no one wants to have an RS car just sit in a collection unused. It's very hard to use these cars on these back roads. That's why I don't really advocate for them. I had a soft offer for a Spider RS. I declined it, even at MSRP. Like 500 horsepower in a car that weighs 3,000 pounds, I don't need that with PDK. That's insane. I'd be going breakneck speeds and the SWAT team of America would be at my front door the next day. I want no part of that. All right, so to conclude here, I'm gonna say the gears are not too long in these 718, 981, Boxer Spiders, etc., GT4s. It's a non-issue. I've never been in any of these cars. I've driven them many, many, many times, flat out, slow, the whole thing. And I've never once thought to myself, these gears are too long, this car sucks, and like, get it out of here. Like try again next year. Like, no, like these cars are so amazing to drive and they just want to be driven fast. Like they reward a good, fast driver when you push them to the limit. So just drive responsibly and you'll see that the gearing in these things aren't too long. I mean, again, look at the graph here. I'll pull up on the screen. You can pause the video and check this out. Like, go conclude for yourself. I mean, look, I will say that fourth gear in the 718 GT4 at 146 miles an hour, like that's aggressive. I don't think I'd ever see the top of fourth on a back road. Like, could that be lower, like the 911 ST at 130? Sure, but this proves an even further point. Like, dude, 130, 140, like we're in the same crazy Looney Tune town parking lot. Like these are crazy speeds. So I don't even think I could name one car out there that has, let's say, 3,000 pounds and 400, 500 horsepower that maxes out in fifth gear at like 110 miles an hour. Like, it doesn't exist. Maybe a Caterham 620R with the sequential, like those are, but yeah. All right, guys, I want to know what you think about Porsche's long gearing. I want to know if you've had issues with this, whether you think it's a problem that they need to correct, whether you think it's not a problem at all. Like, have you driven these cars on track or on back roads in like the middle of nowhere and said, hey, there's no issue. Like, I don't know what Renless is talking about. What is YouTube talking about? These journalists, etc. Like, in my heart of hearts, this is a non-issue for these cars and it should never thwart you from purchasing or looking at them or spending $15,000 to correct this issue. Go spend $1,000 on a lightweight flywheel. You're really gonna enjoy that. You really got a lot of good bang for your buck there. I will concede that in theory, you could take a 718 GT4 and keep it in third the entire time, but like, you're not gonna do that. Like, the only time you do that is if you broke your linkages and you were stuck in third gear. So you're gonna be downshifting to second. In some tight corners, you're gonna be even in first gear. Even in my Spider, I put it in first for some like, you come into a stop sign, it's a right-hand turn, you're in first. Damn, this thing rips quick. Oh shit, oh fuck. All right, let's go fast. Oh shit. Kick out the end, have a little fun, throw it in second, third, maybe you'll find fourth. And like, these cars are amazing. Like, just enjoy them. Like drive the shit out of these cars, enjoy your life, be safe, be responsible, and put this gearing issue to bed.